Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're setting out on a journey into a world that honestly causes a fair bit of confusion for a lot of folks: electrical compliance. Just think about it for a second. Miles of hidden wiring are running behind your walls right now. If you own a property, whether you live in it, rent it out, or run a business from it, electrical safety is absolutely paramount. So let's clear up the terminology and the regulations to make this whole complex topic straightforward.
Let me guess. If you're watching this, there's a good chance you're dealing with a sudden wave of anxiety. Have you been asked for an electrical safety certificate recently? It happens all the time. You might be a seller trying to close on a house, a buyer whose mortgage lender is suddenly asking for documentation, or maybe your landlord who just got a sternly worded email from a letting agent. Out of nowhere, someone demands this specific document, and you're left wondering what exactly they want and how on earth you're supposed to get it. Well, don't worry, you are in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap. First, we're going to cover what an EICR actually is. Second, we'll walk through the inspection process. Third, we'll decode those confusing result codes. Fourth, we'll figure out who actually needs one. And finally, we'll point you towards some trusted local experts.
Part 1. What is an EICR? Let's demystify this acronym.
So the crucial takeaway here is this. EICR stands for Electrical Installation Condition Report. That's the formal, highly technical name for it. It's a formal assessment of your property's fixed electrical installations, tested against the current BS 7671 wiring regulations. Now, I know BS 7671 sounds like some sort of secret agent code, but it's really just the UK National Standard for Electrical Safety. And here's the secret most people don't realize. When a solicitor or a letting agent asks you for an electrical safety certificate, this EICR is exactly what they're asking for. It's the exact same thing, just going by its proper regulatory name.
Now, we need to clear up a massive point of confusion. EICR versus PAT testing. They are completely different. An EICR checks the fixed electrical installations. We're talking about the hidden, hardwired elements of your building, the wiring inside the walls, the consumer unit, the actual sockets themselves. PAT testing, on the other hand, stands for portable appliance testing. That only covers the portable items you physically plug into those sockets, like your toaster, your kettle, or your computer. The EICR is strictly about the building's fundamental electrical infrastructure.
Part 2. The inspection process. Let's look under the hood.
An EICR is definitely not just a quick glance around the room. It is carried out in two distinct, incredibly thorough phases. Step 1 is a visual inspection of all accessible components. The electrician is hunting for obvious physical issues, like damaged cables or scorch marks from overheating. But Step 2 is where the real heavy lifting happens. Rigorous electrical testing of every single circuit using specially calibrated instruments. Checking things like continuity and insulation resistance takes lots of time. In fact, a typical inspection for a standard 2- or 3-bedroom property in Surrey will generally take an electrician anywhere from 2 to 4 solid hours to complete. It's a remarkably thorough process.
During those hours, the electrician is testing your consumer unit, or fuse board, checking its age and overall condition. They're testing all the fixed wiring for insulation quality. They are rigorously checking the earthing and bonding, which is literally life-saving stuff. They also visually inspect the sockets and switches for damage, and they check the incoming supply. Basically, they leave absolutely no stone unturned when it comes to the fixed electrical assets of your home.
Moving on to Part 3. Decoding the result codes and understanding your report.
When you finally get your written report, you're going to see a specific grading system. If you see a C1 code, that means danger is present right now. The installation is fundamentally unsafe and immediate action is required. A C2 code means it is potentially dangerous. Urgent action is required, and if you're a landlord, you have exactly 28 days to fix it. If you get a C1 or a C2, your overall report is officially marked unsatisfactory, and a certificate cannot be issued until the work is done. A C3 just means an improvement is recommended. It's advisable but not mandatory. And FI stands for further investigation required. Long story short, you really want to avoid those C1s and C2s.
But what actually happens if you do get a C1 or C2 and your report comes back unsatisfactory? Well, the electrician will outline the exact remedial works needed to bring your property up to current safety standards. If you're in an older property, the most common fixes are usually earthing and bonding corrections or ripping out outdated plastic consumer units, which can actually be a significant fire risk, and replacing them with modern metal-clad units that feature proper RCD protection.
Part 4. Who needs an EICR?
Let's check the frequency rulebook.
There's a pretty stark difference in how often you need this done depending on how you use the property. If you are a private landlord or you manage a commercial property, an EICR is required every 5 years, or right before a new tenancy begins. However, if you are a homeowner just living in your own place, an EICR is generally recommended every 10 years as a standard safety and maintenance check.
Now, if you are a private landlord in England, listen up. That 5-year rule is not just a suggestion, it is a strict legal requirement under regulations introduced in 2020. And the consequences for ignoring it are incredibly severe. Non-compliance can land you with a maximum civil penalty of up to £40,000 per offense. Furthermore, as a landlord, you are legally obligated to provide a copy of a satisfactory EICR to your existing tenants within 28 days of the inspection and to any new tenants before they even unpack a single box.
For homeowners, while no one is legally forcing you to get an EICR, it is highly advisable. Beyond that 10-year general recommendation, you should strongly consider getting one before diving into major renovations. Also, if you're buying a property, especially an older one built before 1980, mortgage lenders and solicitors will frequently demand an EICR to secure the purchase anyway. It just provides a vital, independent assessment of the electrical installation before you exchange contracts.
And finally, Part 5. Your local trusted experts, MS Electrical Solutions.
When you're looking for an electrician to handle this vital work, you need someone you can actually trust. For instance, MS Electrical Solutions, based in Horley and serving Surrey and West Sussex, checks all the right boxes. They're NAPIT-accredited. Crucially, they already hold the Advanced 239152 inspection and testing qualification, which means they meet the super stringent new standards becoming mandatory in October 2026. Plus, they offer totally clear fixed pricing starting from just $150 for a 1- or 2-bedroom property with absolutely no hidden costs.
A really reassuring factor when choosing a local expert like them is the convenience. It's basically a one-stop shop. If your property does need some repairs, they handle the initial inspection, complete all the necessary remedial works, and issue your digital certificates all on the exact same day. It just keeps the whole process smooth and straightforward.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground today, demystifying the EICR from those first visual checks right down to the result codes. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Electricity is invisible, and wiring degrades completely out of sight. When was the last time your home or business had a full professional electrical health check? If you're scratching your head and don't know the answer, you've really got to ask yourself, what exactly is happening behind your walls right now?